Hello and welcome to NPS Now, your source for news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner, and with me today is John Coleman. He is the Executive Director of Secondary Schools. Welcome, John, to NPS Now.
Thank you very much for having me.
You have two very important events coming up, and the first one is the specialty program. Well, both of them are specialty programs. So, in Norfolk Public Schools, we have specialty programs. Tell me, what are they and what type of courses do they cover?
In Norfolk Public Schools, we have specialty programs at the secondary level, primarily at middle school and high school. And so at high school, we have several programs, one at each high school. For our high school programs, we have the Morey Medical Health Specialty Program. We have the Granby High School International Baccalaureate Program. We have the Booker T. Washington Performing Arts Specialty Program. We have the Leadership and JROTC program at Lake Taylor High School. And then we have the Engineering and Leadership program at Norview High School. Then at the middle school level, we have also a variety of programs. We have our Young Scholars program, which is located at Rosemont. We also have our Academy for International Studies, which is also located at Rosemont. Then we also have the pre-medical program that's located at Blair. We have the STEM program, which is at the Southside STEM Academy at Camp Estella. And then we have our Academy for Discovery that is located at the old Lafayette site, which is our Lakewood site, as we refer to it these days. So we have quite a few specialty programs within Norfolk Public Schools. Each of them have something unique and special, that defines them. That's why we refer to them as a specialty or magnet program, because they draw students from across the division.
Right, and so parents can go to our NPS website and click on those schools and find out more about those specialty programs.
They can, and that kind of leads us into our events that are coming up. On Wednesday, November 1st, and then Wednesday, November 8th, we have what we call our Specialty Program Showcase Night. So on Wednesday, November 1st, we have the Showcase Night for our high school programs. So all 5 high schools will be represented there. We'll also have a representative for our North Star program, which also involves high school students. And so, this is an opportunity for parents to come out, learn more about our high school programs. It would be primarily for rising 9th grade students, because those are the students who would be applying this year. However, middle grades students and their parents are more than welcome to come at the 6th or 7th grade level, and even at the elementary level if they would like to find out a little bit more about the programs, so that they understand what the prerequisites might be to help them apply.
Yeah, so why do we separate the nights? Why did we have a middle school night and a high school night?
Well, we are going back to that this year primarily because the numbers have substantially increased. Mm-hmm. We seem to have a lot more interest in the programs. We've expanded our programs, and so there's more programs, which basically creates more people interested in those programs. And as a result, last year when we had both the middle and the high school on the same night, it was standing room only.
Wow.
And so this year we're splitting it out to make sure that we have enough space, to make sure that parents and students have an opportunity to ask questions if they would like to. So that's why primarily two programs this year.
Right. You want everyone to be comfortable and be able to hear and to listen and to learn more information about the programs. So why is it important for us to highlight our specialty programs in our schools?
Well, we have so many programs in Norfolk Public Schools, and we consider these programs, those diamonds, that are very special to our students, and they fit a niche group of students, based on their interests. And so we want to make sure that all students at least are aware of the programs to find out if this is something they're interested in. Mm-hmm. So by hosting these showcases, that kind of starts off the process. And then each individual school and program also does an open house, that parents will find out about as well. So as they want to get more information and basically dig a little bit deeper in terms of what each program is about, they'll have that opportunity as well. So this is really The showcase night is a kickoff of the whole process.
Right, so it's informational, and then of course there are applications that students will have to fill out. So when will those applications be available?
So the application will go live on the evening of the showcase night. So for high schools, the application will go live on the websites, both the district website as well as the school website, on Wednesday, November 1st. And for our middle school students, for applying, the same thing. The application will become live on November 8th.
So when will they need to return the applications by?
Okay, so the application process, they go live, parents can download the application, complete them. They would then need to turn them in to their current school counselor. So for rising 6th grade students, they would turn it into their elementary counselor at their current building. And for rising 9th grade student, they would turn it into their middle school counselor. And that deadline is January 31st. So they'll have from November to January to complete the application process, which does include getting some teacher recommendations. And they have to be in no later than January 31st. They can be in earlier, and we're happy to take them earlier, but by January 31st, they need to be in.
So how are students selected for this?
So once the applications are received, the counselors add in some additional information as well, and that would include student grades and SOL scores and attendance and discipline records and those kinds of things. And then each program director, along with the committee within their school, they go through a process, and that process includes using a rubric that will score each applicant. And then based on that score, students are selected to continue with the process, and that might vary just a little bit. For some schools, they will have to come in for some testing. For example, Booker T. Washington with the performing arts, students would come in and they would actually do a solo, or they would read music. They would do something that would express what those talents might be. At the Lake Taylor Leadership Program, there is an interview process. So it does vary from school to school. Once the students have gone through that process, parents and students are then notified that they've received an offer for a particular program or programs, because students may apply to more than one program if they choose. And that deadline is April 13th. So by April 13th, we will notify parents that their child has been offered a slot. And then from April 13th to April 27th, parents and their students have to make that decision. So by April 27th, we have to hear back from the parents that they're going to accept that offer so that we can finalize rosters. And if parents choose not to accept, then that would allow us to then go to each individual school's waiting list so that they can complete their rosters.
So is there transportation provided for some of these specialty programs?
All of the specialty programs do have transportation, except for the Blair pre-medical program. And we're still looking to try to get transportation for that program. However, that program, when it was originally designed, was designed with parents providing the transportation. And at this point, we're still working on that piece as a division. We would like to provide transportation, but it also does have to fit within budget constraints and those kinds of things.
So in order to be a part of the middle school and high school specialty programs, we're trying to pique the interest of 5th graders and 8th graders going into their next 6th grade middle school year or high school years. What do we do as an informational piece to get kids excited or interested in these programs before the application process comes up?
Well, that's where it comes back to our elementary and middle school counselors. They talk about the programs, they give explanations, they let people know and students know what goes on in these programs. Our program directors and sometimes even our principals will go down to the middle and elementary schools and have an assembly or talk to our students. They'll go to PTA meetings and share information on those opportunity evenings as well. And so we try to do a variety of things to get the word out. We also have our own open houses. And so as those rising 6th and 9th graders have opportunity to kind of focus in on a program, they're welcome to come to the school on their open house night, and they'll have students, they'll have artifacts that will help support what the program is all about as well.
And I believe word of mouth and the chatting about it is
Oh,
what
absolutely.
happens too for students.
The alumni from our programs have their own network in terms of sharing what goes on, both academically, socially, the community service requirements. All of those things are shared both through the website, but also from our alumni, our students that help promote the programs
right, and
as well.
It piques their interest too. So are there any new programs or any changes happening for our specialty programs?
There are no new programs this year. However, we do have a specialty program task force that is working to really evaluate all of our programs, and that task force will be bringing information to the district leadership team and ultimately the Board of Education. So there potentially are some changes coming down the road, but as we are planning and going into next year, it will be the same.
Great, great. So this has been a lot of information that we've shared today, so we really want them to ingest that and hold on to it, and especially the dates. So kind of remind us the dates, the times, the locations of when these specialty programs are going to happen.
Well, the key piece is the kickoff. So Wednesday, November 1st and Wednesday, November 8th from 6 to 8 p.m. and that will be at Norview High School for both programs. Those are our showcase nights. That kicks off the process. That's when the applications become available to parents and students. Parents and students then will select the program or programs they want to apply to, and their deadline for submitting their application is January 31st to the counselor at their current school. And once they go to the showcase evening, they'll also get information in terms of when the individual school open houses are, and they will also be found on the district as well as the school websites.
Right, and for more information, they can go to our website and learn about
Absolutely.
the specialty programs.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having us, and we hope lots of parents will come out and get information about these wonderful programs that we have at Norfolk Public Schools.
This is great. Thank you, John. And we want you to stay tuned for more NPS Now.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I'm Steve Sutmiller, Senior Coordinator of Athletics. Today in the studio, we have a special guest from Portsmouth Public Schools. We have Vince Pugh, the Citywide Athletic Director. Vince, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. Vince, we got you down here to talk a little bit about the partnership that Norfolk and Portsmouth shares with middle school sports. And so let's talk about that. About the partnership. So tell us a little bit about this partnership that we have.
Well, the partnership allows our school division, which only had 3 middle schools, to actually play a true schedule. Imagine us trying to go round robin with 3 teams in football. So with the 7 teams from Norfolk and the 3 from Portsmouth, then we actually have a full 6-game schedule, which culminates into a semifinal and a final game, which is great for our school division.
Okay, so we got involved with Portsmouth probably about 2009, where we started middle school football. You guys were starting middle school football. We had our 7-team league, or we had an 8-team league then, because we had Rosemont playing, and then you had the 3. So the winner from our division played the winner from your division. And then when we had, some reduction in schools, that we went to 7 schools, then, the conversation with Sharon Moore and I, we decided to kind of marry this league together to create a 10-team league. And you talk about the conferences, how they're set up.
Well, the conferences are set up perfectly to me because the 3 Portsmouth schools are in one conference, and the 2 Norfolk schools nearest to where we reside, which will be Ruffner and Blair, they're the easiest ones for us to get to, right through the either tunnel, midtown or downtown tunnel. So it really works real well that we're in a conference with those 2 Norfolk schools.
Okay, and then so the other division, the North Division, is the 5 remaining Norfolk schools. So,
yes.
The format, they play their 2 non-conference games.
Yes.
And then they go into conference play, and then the winners come out of that. The top 2 from each conference get into that tournament.
Yes.
So talk about You know, what's kind of some of the reaction from the administrative standpoint, from the principals, the athletic directors, and even the student involvement? I mean, is there excitement with football?
Well, there is this year because we actually have some teams, at least one team that will be in the playoffs. But the kids, they enjoy it. I mean, the camaraderie we have with, you know, and the collaboration between our divisions has been great. The principals endorse it. You know, they're there at the games. Our middle schools, just like your middle schools, we have great participation. Mm-hmm. You know, we have several hundred parents that come out. You know, we have our bands, we have cheerleaders and all the auxiliary things that go along with the football game. And even some of the schools we have do an actual homecoming. Okay. So it's a great experience.
All right. So, you know, we got football down. I mean, that's a well-oiled machine that's running. It's been a successful partnership. And with that, so, you know, we started looking at each other's opportunities. And the other thing that we match up with is track.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about what we do with our track programs.
Well, with the track programs, we actually, like you said, you know, you have a regular season, we have a regular season, and then we come together into one big, what we call Norfolk Portsmouth Challenge championship meet. And in that championship meet, the top 6 kids per event from Norfolk and Portsmouth, we merge and we have a meet, and it has been a huge success, you know, because the winners are the top 3 or 4 kids out of that. Somehow or another always end up being the next group of athletes that you hear about and read about on the next level when they get to high school.
Okay. All right, so we had, again, that's running fairly well with track. So looking down the line, what else do you think we could potentially match up with and bring some excitement to, you know, middle school athletics?
Well, I mean, we really want to look at, you know, stuff like basketball and maybe wrestling. You know, we do have, you know, the way your guys' schedule is set up, you know, with, you know, winter 1 and winter 2, where we're more traditional, you know, we have fall, winter, and then spring. So, you know, at some point we got to collaborate and maybe match up some of the seasons, the other seasons. Like we play baseball in the spring, you play, softball in the spring, you play softball in the fall. So, you know, we eventually be able to match up some of the other sports seasons to where we can, and even volleyball. You know, we have volleyball for girls and boys, you know, and it's going really well. But once again, you know, you're only playing the same 2 teams twice. Okay. You know, it would be wonderful if we could, you know, we could add something like that.
And we will sit down and talk about those to try to figure out something, because this 10-team league gives, you know, that opportunity to play different people is always good. So one other sport that we forgot, and we don't want to slight them, is cheering. Our cheer competition has been a huge success with inviting the Portsmouth schools over in our annual spring event there. So that's another one that you know, we have a good partnership going on.
Absolutely, and we definitely would like to continue that.
Okay, so looking down, you know, our athletes, you know, are the next step is high school. So again, it's kind of a natural thing because we are the Eastern District as well.
Absolutely.
So you know, what is it? How do we see that? You know, the Eastern District's back. So talk a little bit about the importance of having the district concept back.
Well, the importance of the district concept is, once again, Norfolk Portsmouth are very similar cities as far as the demographics of the city. So, you know, the challenges you have in Norfolk, we have the same challenges in Portsmouth. So, you know, I think that the Eastern District, just being Norfolk and Portsmouth, you know, our kids are very similar. You know, our styles, our seasons are the same with the high school. You know, we've been actually in the Eastern District. You know, there was just this little separation for 4 years when the conferences came along, but we would still play some Eastern District things. So those old rivalries are really being rekindled now that we're back with our high schools just playing Eastern District regular season schedules.
We're excited to have the Eastern District back. We know there's going to be, again, some great rivalries. We're going to get to, you know, for basketball, we're going to get that Booker T. Norcom game twice. We're going to get that Maury Booker T. game twice. All the games are going to be the double round robin format. So we're excited about that. So in Portsmouth, as the citywide AD, you know, what does athletics, sports, mean to the student population in Portsmouth?
Over there? Well, it's a very integral part of the student's life. You know, and our activities as well. You know, our kids are more motivated to come to school. They're more motivated to stay in school. They're more motivated to get their grades up beyond a C, you know, because we have a 2.0 average as you do minimum standard to be able to participate. And, you know, it's just a lot of life lessons that they learn through athletics and activities that they wouldn't get anywhere else.
Okay.
And, you know, our parents are excited about it. You know, our schools, the school spirit. You know, we're the drivers of the school spirit. Athletics, I mean, that's, you know, that's the same way everywhere.
Okay. Well, same way in Norfolk. It's an integral part of the school day, of the school atmosphere.
Yes.
And you know, we're always promoting that sportsmanship.
Absolutely.
For our student athletes, so it's a big deal everywhere.
Yeah, and no better place to learn sportsmanship than on the playing field.
Sure. Well, Vince, you know, a lot of good information. We look forward to our continued partnership.
Yes.
And you know, I thank you for coming down here.
All right, thank you.
All right, more NPS Now after this.
We want to thank you for watching NPS Now. It airs weekly on WNPS Channel 47, or you can view us online at www.npsk12.com. If you have any great story ideas or information you'd like to share, email us at nps_news@npsk12.com. Again, we want to thank you for watching NPS Now.